The late Dr. Myles Munroe had a saying that the wealthiest place on earth is the cemetery. It is about this that I want to talk with you. Later on, in one of his books, the man of God did state that human beings are filled with divine potentials, talents, gifts, abilities, untapped capacities, ingenuity, creativity, and productivity. So I asked myself, where are all these talents and capacities? And the answer is very simple. They are all in our minds. The only thing about a man who is a man is his mind. Any other thing you can find in a pig or a horse. It is a very harsh statement, but it is the truth. God gave us talents, capacities, gifts, abilities to come into this world. But for what? When God finished creation, He saw the need for somebody to work the ground. This is why God created man. When God created man, He said man should become himself. He gave man a free will to become. In doing so, he was supposed to exploit all the capacities, the capabilities, the abilities, the talents, the gifts that God had placed inside him. We are brought into this world because there is a unique problem that only you can solve. I came into this world because there is one unique, or there are some set of problems that I am the solution to. You have a mission on earth. God has placed certain things inside you, and if you don't bring them out and you die one day, you will contribute to the richness of the grave or the cemetery. I want to tell you something. What if Bill Gates had refused to become himself? He would have lived a poor life and died a poor man. But the most important thing is, he would have returned to the grave with Microsoft. What if Dangote had not become himself? He would have lived a poor life. But the most important thing is, he would have returned to the grave with all the riches that he has gathered. All the help that he is offering to mankind would have gone to the grave with him. I can mention a lot of great people. Kwame Nkrumah, Nelson Mandela, the late Dr. Myles Munroe himself. What if all these people had refused to take that big step that launched them into what they became? The hero in them would never have come out. There is a personal legend in us that must come out. During his lifetime, Vincent van Gogh was considered a madman. People didn't even want to listen to him. He lived his life in poverty. But you see, there is one thing about Vincent van Gogh. He was an impressionist artist. He loved painting. During his lifetime, nobody bought a single painting from him. It has been recorded that the only one that bought a painting from Vincent van Gogh was his brother. Out of desperation, he killed himself. He committed suicide. Then, decades after his death, the works of this man became so popular that people even placed his works in museums. Today, his works are among the highly paid paintings in the world. A museum is named after Vincent van Gogh. A quintessential misunderstood genius indeed. Vincent van Gogh is a perfect example of somebody who didn't allow circumstances, tradition, and the views of man to kill his dream. He decided to live himself. He decided to live his talents, his abilities, to unveil the potentials God placed inside him before he returned to the grave. He left himself on the earth. Today, his works still live on. The point is very simple. At a point in time, you are to discover your personal legend and live it. But at which point, the sad news is that a lot of young people are returning to the grave with all these talents, gifts, and abilities that God placed inside us. And we are contributing to the riches of the cemetery. The only difference between a man and an animal is our power and ability to plan. God gave us this power to plan. And you see that God gave us the power of planning so that we can participate in the creation process, because He created us in the God class. What are you doing with yourself? Above all, how are you using your mind? If all these talents, gifts, and abilities are hidden in our minds, then how are we using our minds today? Today, young men are drinking our lives away. Today, young men are smoking our lives away. Today, we find ourselves seated complaining from morning to evening. Politicians have made us believe that our problems are supposed to be solved by a certain government. So the responsibility, the capacity to solve our own problems has been taken away from us by deception. In their quest for us to vote them into power, they make us believe that we need them to come and solve our problems. When they come into power, the opposition begins to point out their defects and tell us that they are the solution. You see, the solution to our problems doesn't lie in the hands of any other person. The solution to the problems of mankind lie in man himself. Your solutions are in yourself. They are not found in anyone. No one even owes you a solution to any problem that you are facing. You see, Dr. Myles Munroe said, on the sea, the pessimist sits down and complains about the storm. The optimist sits down and hopes for things to get better. But the leader stands up and sets the sail. Jim Rohn also stated it this way: the same wind blows on us all, the same storm hits us all, but the difference is in the set of the sail. What determines our destination is the set of the sail. How are you setting your sail? Are you even setting a sail at all? All inventions that we have today, all the discoveries of mankind, all the inventions are solutions to problems of mankind. Do you believe that God created you for a purpose, and that there is a unique problem or unique set of problems that only you can solve? If you refuse to solve these problems and you return to the grave, you have robbed humanity, you have robbed the next generation, and you have contributed to the riches of the grave. What are you doing before you die? If you die tomorrow, if you die today, what will you be remembered for? The difference is in how we use our minds to solve problems. If we are able to bring out solutions to problems, this is where we get value. Now, I want to share 5 points with you that will give you value and give you success. Earl Nightingale defined success as the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Now, for you to be successful in life, follow these 5 steps. Number 1, identify a problem in the world, in your life, in your community. Once you identify the problem, write it down. After writing down the problem, envision a solution to the problem. When you pinpoint a problem without envisioning a solution to the problem, you are only complaining. And that is what a lot of people are doing today. We can pinpoint all the problems. Today, young people can go on demonstrations. We demonstrate our problems and we demonstrate our ignorance and our inability to solve our problems. Don't go on demonstrations. When you have a problem, write it down. After writing down the problem, envision a solution to the problem. Number 3, plan. Dr. Myles Munroe gave a very good definition of planning. Let me share it with you. He says, planning is a documented preconceived determination of how time energy and resources will be used. Young man, how are you using your time? Young woman, how are you using your time? Today, somebody calls you in the morning, let's go and have a drink, and you follow him. After you plan, if you don't act, your plan is good as nothing. So after planning, act. Start something. Young man, if you are unemployed, you have been to university, you've completed your education, you have your master's degree. See, the problem is, most of us are going around looking for jobs, but God is expecting us to rather employ people. Somebody started by selling bread. Today, he has employed thousands of people in Ghana. What are you doing with your life? The final part of it is persevere. Failure is only failure when you stop after you fail. Failure is not failure when you continue. When you persevere, it is not failure. It is believed that Thomas Edison failed 1,000 plus before he discovered the incandescent bulb. Today, Thomas Edison is one person who is remembered for his inventions. He didn't give up. See, the fact that you begin something and then you are faced with challenges doesn't mean that is the end. Keep on moving. Keep on going. Have a backup plan. If you start it this way and it doesn't work, change the plan and go back to your dream. It shall be well with you. The word work, that is how Les Brown calls it, your life work, is far different from a job. So don't confuse yourself by thinking that if you acquire a job today, you are successful. What will make you successful is to discover your personal legend or to discover your life work. Your purpose in life is your life work. The problem that you solve for mankind, the one that if you solve, tomorrow when you die, people will have a lot to say about you. The one that will live on after your death, like how Nelson Mandela lives on, like how Dr. Kwame Nkrumah lives on, like how Dr. Myles Munroe lives on. That is what we call your life work. That is what we call a purposeful life. Jesus Christ lived for only 33 years and died. And yet today he is celebrated all over the world. He lived a purposeful life. At the end of the day, God will not say, well lived, my son. He will say, well done, my son. The only thing that will make you successful in life is how you live your life today. Don't waste your life on alcohol. Don't waste your life on smoking cigarettes. If we allow our lives to be controlled by alcohol, drugs from trees, from plants, alcohol from plants, then we have actually turned it upside down. God created us to dominate the earth. Don't allow the earth to dominate you. I heard from this young girl who landed herself into some trouble on the internet saying that she consumed alcohol. And because of that, she was controlled by the alcohol. She didn't know what she was doing. We hear these excuses all the time. I was under the influence of drugs. I was under the influence of alcohol. At the end of the day, we are supposed to control the earth, to dominate the earth, and not for the earth to dominate us. Your mind is your power. Use your mind well. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Moti Minds. You can also connect with us on our website, www.motiminds.com. It is a community of leaders. When you come and join us, we will share good messages of encouragement, motivation with you. Daily messages that will put you on the right path. You can also connect with us on Facebook at Moti Minds. Instagram is Moti Minds. All the other social media channels, Twitter, all the channels. You just search for Multi Minds. Connect with us and you will not regret doing so.